for The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, we welcome you in. Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon, JJ LaSelva. Today's new drug is we're closer to a game. It's Thursday. So once you're past hump day, it's pretty much game day.
Got a game tonight.
There is
Can't
a game
wait,
tonight.
yeah.
And you know what? That'll be kind of worth watching tonight. That one, I mean, that's worth watching. This isn't the Cardinals and Seahawks tonight, buddy. This is a pretty good one tonight.
This is a good one.
Yeah,
for sure.
So we are certainly looking forward to that. I got a full show today. Today's our Tuesday show, as you know. Our Thursday show, as you know. It's a 2 to 4 show. We do it every Thursday, and then we turn it over to our friends from Jaguars, the Jaguar Radio Network. You'll hear Jaguars Happy Hour. Part of that is the Doug Peterson Show, and that all comes up today at 4 o'clock. But we'll be here with you until 4. A lot of fun stuff coming up. Greg McGarity in studio for the first time. Look forward to having Greg stop by the studio. So he will be with us in studio at 2:40 with the Gator Bowl College Football Report. Before that, Josh Pate is here, the Woolsey Morecambe National College Football Report. So we'll talk some college football in the first hour. We're also going to hear from Mitch Morse at the top of the next hour. He is the Jaguars center as we get you closer and closer and more ready for Jags Dolphins. So all kind of fun stuff coming up on the program. So we are loaded up with stuff as we typically are around here, getting closer and closer to it. Boy, the Jags are as healthy. Knock on wood when I say that. I don't want to jinx anything, but we got to report the news here. They are as healthy as a football team can be going into an opener. When you factor in a camp, all that goes on in a camp, 3 preseason games, my goodness, it's a team in good health.
Without a doubt. I mean, it's, Andrew Wingard is the most significant injury, and, he's a good player, but I think if you rank the Jaguars 1 through 53, I think Andrew Wingard's probably somewhere in the 20s.
Yeah.
So,
I agree with that.
I think that's outstanding. Keelan Robinson, obviously a rookie, late round pick, like Wingard starts the season on IR. But, I mean, again, that shouldn't do anything to disrupt expectations for what you can be. And Daniel Thomas is the only player that is limited in practice. No one's out of practice, which is great. So, obviously we'll see if Daniel Thomas is able to go. Nice special teams player.
Yeah.
So hopefully he is. But yeah, no doubt about it. They're going to have it. Look, if Daniel Thomas plays, they're going to have 7 healthy scratches.
Yeah, and by the way, it's a good game to have all your guys because it's going to be miserably hot. Hotter than it is here. You're not in football shape. No matter how good your camp was, no matter how good your off season was, no one's in the football shape in week 1 that they're in week 7. You can't be. You have to play a football season to get in shape. You have to play part of a football season to be in shape for a football season. So yeah. But no, I'm really excited about the game. I will tell you now, and I know everybody knows this. People follow the league. Miami led the league in offense. They're the best offense in the league. So that's who you get to start with. The team that ranked first in the league in total offense, second in the league in scoring offense. They can light it up when everything's right now. They really are a team that can do that.
Sure. I mean, obviously we know about the speed at receiver, but Mike McDaniel is one of the best schematic offensive minds in the NFL. And so that's what is such a concern is he is known that he is seeing the Jaguars week 1 for 5 months. And that's a concern. He is certainly going to have things that are going to, he thinks, work against Ryan Nielsen, throw him off. I think Ryan Nielsen talked about today, the eye discipline pre-snap is so important. And then obviously once the ball is snapped, Miami does such a good job, deception, creativity. And look, they've got a quarterback they believe in that they think is the guy for the future to bring them a Super Bowl. So they present a lot of challenges. Their running backs, I think, are underrated as a group in terms of how they can hurt you, and they just added Jalen Wright to the mix there. But obviously Mostert and Achane are outstanding. So schematically, it's a very difficult assignment. That's what I was sort of alluding to a few days ago with Ryan Nielsen. Like, if defensively they hold Miami to 24 or under, you may have a superstar defensive coordinator and a superstar defense. I mean, you got to have players to show what you can do as an elite coordinator. But if they're able to hold Miami to a reasonable number, it'll say a lot for me. It won't say much for me if it doesn't go that way. If Miami scores 37, I just think it is a tough opponent to have to see in week 1 when you are relaunching the vision for your defense. So I'm not going to judge overly harshly if Miami goes up and down the field for this one game. But if the Jaguars are able to play good defense, that'll say a lot to me about Ryan Nielsen.
I agree with you. It's not house money, but I know what you're saying. The Dolphins are really good on offense. Again, to lead the National Football League in total offense, be second in the league, almost 30 points a game in scoring offense. Look, we all know about Waddle and Tyreek Hill and how ridiculously fast they are, and how Tua, when protected, gets the ball out accurately. The running backs are good. Mostert and Achane, and by the way, it's now Achane, not Achane. Did you know that?
Okay.
Remember, we'd always said Achane when he was at A&M. Achane. Well, he corrected everybody this year. It's Devon Achane, so we'll make sure we get that right. But Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert are really fast. I mean, they can really run. So I mean, it's a fast team. So, but I agree with you. You said it right. If the number one returning offense in the National Football League scores 30 on you, it's not because all of a sudden you're not good on defense. It's because you're not there yet, and they're the number one scoring offense or the number one total offense in the NFL. So, but I get the hunch the Jags are going up and down the field some too. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some points in this game. Typically, early in the season, games tend to be more defensive than offensive. We've seen that in the college realm, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Jags score some. Jalen Phillips, they say he's going to try and play, but he's 9 months removed from an Achilles.
It's going to be tough.
Jalen Ramsey hasn't practiced.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he'll play. They've got a lot of guys that haven't practiced. We'll see. I mean, listen, you want to beat Jacksonville, you want to get off to a good start, but it's a 17-game season. The last thing you do, Hays, is start a guy or play a guy that's not ready in game one.
Well, and the Dolphins are playing 2 games in 5 days.
Well, that's right.
I mean, they got the Bills next Thursday night, which is a monster game for the Dolphins right out of the gate. So it's a tough spot for Miami from that standpoint, because obviously it is an AFC game. It's a game that if you're the Dolphins, you probably look at the Jaguars and say, okay, they may not be a contender, but they might be. They might be a team that we have to worry about for seeding if we both win our divisions, or if we're both fighting for wild card spots and seeding there. So, I'm sure Miami looks at Jacksonville somewhat under that lens, but how could that week 2 Thursday night game against the Bills, how could that not be in the back of their minds?
Yeah.
I mean, because that's where,
of course,
that's it'd be the same thing here.
Yeah.
I mean, if the Jaguars were going to Houston on Thursday, then it would change, a little bit of how you view this game. So we'll see. I mean, I don't think it's going to carry the day. They're professionals, and I think that they've had so much time to get ready for Jacksonville, and it's the opener. So I think it's a factor, but I think it's more of a minuscule than an intangible that I would put a lot of chips into. But it bears mentioning that they do have to go play in 5 days against an arch rival.
Oh, I don't think there's any question. It's a concern. It is truly in play when you assess this game. I 100% agree with you. That's naive to suggest, well, it doesn't matter. Well, of course it matters. Of course it does. We'll certainly talk about that coming up as we go. So we'll talk some college football. Josh Pate, Greg McGarity stops by. You'll hear from Mitch Morse, the Jaguars center. I want to talk about the best way to defend these Miami Dolphins and the importance of it. Can you move the ball on them? Are you better off to shorten the game a little bit because they're so explosive? So we've got a lot of thoughts coming up on that in a bit. JJ, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but the Pirates pulled out the lumber last night. Were you watching? Did you hear?
No.
Oh, we dragged out the lumber last night. You can only stay down so long, Hays. At some point, it's time to drag out the lumber. Did you see what happened last night?
I saw your manager got upset with the reporter.
He got upset with Noah Hiles, one of the Pete guys. Yeah. The Cubs won 12-0, and it was a combined no-hitter.
Oh, you guys got no hit.
Oh
my God, I missed that.
The worst thing than getting no hit, JJ, is getting
It's
combined
like
no hit.
five guys.
pitchers?
Combined no hit.
How many?
I think they might have 3. They might have brought in the second baseman to close that 12-0 game. We got combined no hit. Okay, just so you don't know.
It's that point in the season.
It really is.
We got to shut down Skeens.
Yeah. Well, we won in a shutout when Skeens pitched. But let me tell you how good the Pirates are. This really speaks to it. Rowdy Tellez, who you like,
One of my favorite. I love a fat guy.
he's a great fat guy. Okay, So let me put this in perspective for you. See if this means anything to you baseball fans. In baseball today, when you're down 10, 12, 15 runs, whatever,
They bring us second baseman.
you bring in the position player. Rowdy Tellez has pitched 3 times in the last week.
Are you serious?
He's pitched 3 times in a week.
He might be
3!
eligible
That'd
for
be
like the
so
ERA
great.
crown.
Yeah, right.
at
That's
this
exactly
point.
right. 3.
Wouldn't you have to start calling
Hayes, he's
him
pitched 3 times in a week.
around the clubhouse? Wouldn't you have to start calling him Koufax?
Absolutely.
Lefty, yeah.
I mean, how bad are you when your position guy has pitched 3
He
times
must
in a week?
be decent.
That's tremendous. Yeah, he just does it up there. So 3 times in a week.
Wow.
We've had Rowdy Tellez go to the mound. So there's that.
That's incredible.
That's awesome. Let's take a break because I want to kick it off with college football. The Woolsey Morecambe National College Football Report kicks off with Josh Pate. Late kick Josh from CBS. CBSSports.com does such a good job. He joins us to talk about the crazy start to the college football season right after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Spend 2 hours talking teal every day on Jaguars Today. With Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
Now, the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Gator Injury Report.
The Gators suffered some unfortunate injuries with their loss to Miami Saturday. Quarterback Graham Mertz went down with a concussion. Safety Asa Turner went down with a non-contact knee injury. And cornerback Devin Moore suffered an AC joint injury. 5-star freshman quarterback DJ Lagway will be taking first-team reps in practice with Graham Mertz's questionable status for Saturday night's game against Samford. I'm Max Fink with your Gator Injury Report, presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Are your toilets flushing slow? Shower drains starting to back up? Bad smells? These are all major signs that your septic tank needs to be pumped out. Call Duck Duck Rooter to schedule today. The EPA recommends you get your septic tank pumped out every 3 years. Call now if it's due. 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Rooter is Northeast Florida's only master septic contractor that is fully insured. See our Google reviews. Visit duckduckrooter.com. 904-862-6769.
Join Hays Carlyon and Rick Ballou live at Jenkins Hyundai on Atlantic as they preview the Jags home opener. Get a picture with Jackson DeVille and Roar cheerleaders. Enter to win signed jerseys, footballs, and more at Jenkins Hyundai Jacksonville, 4 to 6 this Friday.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. I know that hearing another ad for Jacksonville's best promo company interrupts Jacksonville's best sports talk, but at least it isn't a political ad. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and it is hot out there. You know that, Greg. But Honda has a plan for you on or off the road.
They do. There's a ton of Honda scooters, Honda mini motos, great for the beach. Also get you out in the woods with a Honda side-by-side. Plenty to do and stay cool.
Yeah, four-wheelers, and you can trick them out.
We can. From stereo systems to big builds, we do it all.
Everything's there for you to see. CyclesofJacksonville.com online or on Atlantic near Regency. Check out Cycles of Jacksonville.
Okay, you've decided it's time to sell your home. How do you go from a problem to a promise? Listen, there are problems that come with selling one's homes, but with the promise of ChadandSandy.com, you're going to get there, and you're going to get there in the best possible way. You see, here's the promise. Your home sold guaranteed, or they will buy it. So go to ChadandSandy.com. Listen, lots of stories of proof out there. We're going to get to those in just a second. But maybe you need more space for your office or growing family, or you're worried about costly repairs. Chad and Sandy are the local real estate experts you can trust. We recommend them for the sale of your home. They guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price. By a deadline, or they'll buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts. You get it all with Chad and Sandy. Don't believe me? Ask Stephen and Marlene in Eagle Hammock. We needed to move quickly to Ohio to be with family. We heard about Chad and Sandy on the radio, and all we heard is true. Call Chad and Sandy today or go to chadandsandy.com.
Introducing Gatorade Water. Alkaline and electrolyte infused for great taste. Gatorade Water, always in motion.
Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. For the athletes who give everything, nothing beats Gatorade, the studied, tested, and proven fuel of the world's greatest athletes. Gatorade Water, proudly supporting high school sports on the First Coast.
This is Corona Premier. Just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. It's a light beer that... Wait, this is a light beer? But we should really tell people about... Right, that's why I'm here. Sorry. Corona Premier, unexpectedly, light beer.
This is Chelsea with Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Here's what people are saying about working with us.
Installers were professional, courteous, and efficient.
Great customer service. On time, explained the process, and walked me through the installation. Amazing team.
Our experience with Renewal by Anderson was outstanding from the beginning to end.
Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
The expert in pools in this city since 1988 is right. They do a fantastic job. They build our pool. They do it perfectly. They've done pavers. They built a little wall in our backyard. Everything you want. It does pergolas the whole bit. Screen enclosures, they're really good at it. You want a pool done the best in town and has been for many, many years. My friends at Stanley Pools. Let me tell you how radio works. Hey, can I give you a radio lesson?
Please.
So the way radio works is JJ, who's a really good producer, sets up some guests for us. Mm-hmm. So he set up Josh Pate as part of our Woolsey Borkham National Football Report. Does a fantastic job. JJ said he's coming on at 3:15. Okay. Me, public school guy. Okay. I don't know how this happened, but I heard 2:15. Now JJ said 3:15. Okay. But I heard 2:15. So I said, all right. Josh Pate coming up at 2:15.
And it was very last minute, so when you said it at the top of the show, I was like, no big deal. So I'll correct him.
So JJ texts me during the segment, okay? And he says, Josh Pate is 3:15. I mean, I get the text, okay? Again, my brain.
While I was rambling, he texted you. And you
my brain, the cerebrum, the cerebellum, the medulla, and the brain stem all heard 2:15. So I think he's texting me to remind me to break early so we're not late. So I said, okay, well, he's a good producer. I'll break early, okay? So we go to break. Coming up after the break. I sound like the American Idol guy, don't I? After the break, okay? So I said, Josh Pate. So we go to break. And JJ wants to go, hey, dumbass, how many times you want me to freaking tell you? But he's too nice a guy to say that. So he says, it's 3:15. Yeah. And then I realized, okay. Now, there's a lot of things you can do. I could blame it on Josh Pate.
That's what I was
I could say, what the hell, Pate? You were supposed to be here.
He left us hanging.
Yeah, so... but
he
anyway.
big-timed us.
So now I do know. I've read it. I said, JD, send me 78 more texts here, just so I'll know stuff. But I do know it is now 3:15, so apologies if you were sitting here waiting on Josh Pate. He's very good, by the way, and he will be with us at 3:15. That I now can confirm. Through many sources. Okay, I've got very good sources in
Time change on Thursdays. It happens.
Trying to get my head around. Sorry, Josh Pate will be here at 3:15, not 2:15. Greg McGarity will be here at 2:40. That time I do have correct. So let's start with some Jaguar talk. Mitch Morse has been pretty good.
Yeah.
I asked around today, and the general consensus is, and they haven't played a game yet, by the way. You got to play a game, and really the starters haven't played a whole lot. But the general consensus is everything we hoped. Been really good for Luke Fortner. Luke Fortner's watched him. He's watched how a center prepares. He watches how a center works and communicates with a quarterback. He watches how a center makes line calls. Not that Luke couldn't do it, but Luke struggled. We all know that. So it's really been good for him. You know, they're both tall, angular centers, which you don't always have. Sometimes centers are pluggy guys. You know, they're both 6'6". And he's been a real pro in the locker room. So I get the sense that, again, I don't know how you measure a center. You measure an offensive line overall, which is what we're going to start measuring when play begins. But I think this is the first guy. I know I screamed into the mic. He's the first guy I wanted to see him get. I think you probably were on board as well the minute we knew he was available. And I know they haven't played a game yet, but I think all you can measure is what you can measure. I think so far so good with Mitch Morse.
Absolutely, and that's sort of the tone of this interview. It's yes, everything seems good, but we got to play now.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's the veteran expertise, and you know, that's the wisdom that you want somebody to have. Is look, it all we think we've done a nice job building the foundation here, but we're not going to really start to know anything until you get to Sunday at 1:00 against the Dolphins. But you know, Mitch Morse has started 136 games in this league if you count the 10 postseason starts that he has. So it's what they needed. They needed somebody that can guide them, somebody that has seen a lot of things in this league, that's won big games, that's worked with young quarterbacks, that, you know, can take those experiences and apply them to his new relationship here with the Jaguars and specifically with Trevor Lawrence. So, you know, Brandon Sheriff is here, and, you know, they're buddies. They were in the same draft class, so they've known each other for a long time, and that's good. And Sheriff has certainly seen a lot of things too. But to add another voice in that room, and Cam Robinson is certainly a veteran as well, but I do think it's really meaningful, particularly at that position, because the center just sets the table, you know, from a communication standpoint. And I just think that Mitch Morse is going to be a dramatic upgrade over what they've had here. I really even going, not even for Luke Fortner, like Mitch Morse is better than Brandon Linder. Like, so you really hope that this is one of the best centers that you've had in your franchise's history, not just replacing, you know, a guy that's kind of struggled in his second year.
Mitch Morse, the erstwhile Kansas City Chief and Buffalo Bill, the subject of this Hays Carlyon one-on-one.
We're pleased to be joined with Jaguar center Mitch Morse here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. I don't want to get you fined. Are you going to get in trouble for doing this?
No. Incognito. We're all good.
All right, good stuff. How's everything going?
It's good. You know, it's one of those things that it's nice to be kind of enveloped in a work week again. It's one of those things at training camp is like the days are so long, but then you compound those days and we're already in the regular season. Like it's one of those. It's a remarkable thing, you know. Training camp's a necessary evil, and then it gets done, and then you're thrust into the kind of the thralls of regular season, which is a great thing.
I know you won't know until you get into the season, but how much do you think you guys grew as an offense during camp?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's fairly subjective right now. We hope to also be better week 8 than we are week 1, and better than week 16, 17 than we are in week 8. So it's an ongoing process, and I know that's cliche, and you wish you had a better answer, but it's the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. You obviously are familiar with Miami, but they're kind of going in a different direction defensively. More, Doug kind of described it as more of that Ravens style of defense. What are some challenges that'll present?
Well, I think they, first of all, play with a physicality that's hard to match. You got to match. If you don't, they're going to bully you around the field. So for us, it'll be doing that. And then I think, like every week 1, you have to be able to make in-game adjustments and give yourself some grace. You're going to see some stuff that you weren't expecting, and then make in-game adjustments as long as everyone's on the same page relatively, like be good, and then work on doing the next thing. It might not be the prettiest, but as long as we're working together and making adjustments on the sideline, we're in a good spot.
You said you and Brandon have a relationship from being in the same draft class. What's it been like now being teammates with him and going through a training camp with him, and how much can you lean on him, in week 1?
Yeah, no, it's been great. It's made me feel a lot younger, like to see the way he attacks the workday and handles himself as a professional, subtly, non-verbally, he kind of has to he brings you along. Like, this is the standard I'm setting at my age. So you can match it or you can't. And so I've been trying to match it, and it's, it hasn't worked every day, but it's been awesome, man. Like, he's such a plethora of knowledge, and he's got zero ego. It's everything everything you want in a vet, and especially a guy you play next to.
Do you feel good about the foundation that you and Trevor have built from a communication standpoint?
Totally. I think Trevor's at a good spot now where if he doesn't like something he's seeing or something's going awry or he doesn't like what I'm doing, like he's not afraid to constructively give me criticism, and I think that's a great thing about leaders is if they can do it constructively and kind of match the tone that resonates with each individual player, it's perfect.
You've been in this league a long time and made the tournament a ton of times. It's just week one, but this is a team that you guys might be vying with in terms of seeding if you both win the division or maybe fighting just to get in if it's a wild card situation. So it's week one, but does this take on, it's not a division game, but it's one that come January could be very big.
No, I mean, you'd be remiss to not say that week one has its own intensity, right? Like when you go from preseason to week one, but if you make it more than it is, then you get outside of yourself. Like, we try to attack each week with the same intensity. That's what you set yourself as a standard for a professional. Does it always happen? No, right? Like, you just have to be honest with yourself. But we're just trying to put our best foot forward. And if we don't, we'll learn from our mistakes. And if we do, which is what we expect to do, then we have to compound on that the next week. So, no, that's a roundabout answer, but you don't try to put too much pressure on one game.
Mitch Morse, thanks so much for your time, and certainly best of luck Sunday.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, so the offensive linemen get fined when they talk to the media is the report. So when I went up to Mitch Morse to ask him if he had a few minutes, he was like, yeah, sure. Let's go over here. And so we found a little nook in the locker room and did the interview. So hopefully no one saw us in Mitch's offensive line room.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, but he's been good. Look, I think, and we'll talk more about it the rest of the show, and you and Rick will cover a lot of it tomorrow. It'll be my last full-time show until the game's played. I will be on just at the start tomorrow, because Doug and I are going to visit. Doug Peterson's going to come on, as he always will, at 4 o'clock on Fridays, and then you and Rick will have our special Jaguar preview show. But I will tell you, I think as we talk more about this, Hays, I think this is one, I said it before, don't overthink it. You got to stop all that speed. You stop all that speed, you beat the Dolphins. Because I think the Jags move it against the Dolphins. Don't you sense that?
I do. I would be very disappointed if the Jaguars don't score in the 20s on Sunday minimum.
Yeah, yes, that's what I think too. So, and listen, it's a big. And by the way, Gene Fournette, fantastic story. Did you see the story of Trevor Lawrence?
I saw that he had written it. I haven't read it yet.
Fantastic story, and how Trevor speaks openly about his faith, which I think is fantastic. And I was really moved by it. So, Gene, great job on that story, and Trevor and Marissa and others close to Trevor speaking so openly about him and how important his faith is to him. I thought it was just fantastic. I thought Gene did a great job on the story, and I thought that Trevor and Marissa and the folks close to them, the pastor that married them, who's been a mentor of theirs for many years, were really, really honest and very, 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 very visceral feeling story. It was really good. So good work on that. If you haven't read it, go read it, because it really is good stuff. So, I'm excited about the game. I'm excited about the matchups. Two healthy teams. Well, one healthy team. The Dolphins are not quite as healthy. So it'll be in. Do you think Jalen Ramsey plays?
I'm leaning towards he isn't.
I think the word is, I don't know what Jaguar coaches expect or players expect, but I think the word is that a lot of people nationally, I think he's not going to play. Again,
his defensive coordinator today made it sound like it's certainly in doubt. He was like, I'm praying every night that we're going to have Jalen, but we have to be cognizant of the fact that it is a hamstring and we play again Thursday. And so when you open the season with 2 games in 5 days,
right?
And the second one is a divisional game, against a team that you
Buffalo.
feel like is probably we'll see what the Jets have.
Yeah.
Some are very high on the Jets and some are not. But I think most people believe the Bills are going to be in the mix. Like, it would be a support. The Jets may fall off. We'll see.
Right.
But, yeah, and looking at it from a Dolphins perspective, the one Thursday night is much bigger than the one on Sunday. Now, again, you'd love to get them both. But if it comes down to playing a star player like Jalen Ramsey, I could see them saying, let's see if we can get by this one without you so that we've got you healthy for the challenge that Buffalo will present.
Yeah, so the fact that they're playing them, I think, matters. So a lot of other storylines, again, we'll talk about some of those. I'll tell you one, too. What the Jags have not done is throw it over the top in recent years. How much does Brian Thomas Jr. change what they are able to do? We've talked about it all preseason. Now it counts, Hays. Now, in a game like this where you may need to keep up, doesn't he change? My gut tells me Christian Kirk, if healthy, has an enormous season in large part because Brian Thomas Jr. and to a lesser extent Gabe Davis are stretching the field.
Yeah, and the Dolphins are very aware of Gabe Davis and the problems that he presents.
Twice a year for many years.
Yeah, so I think Miami will have a healthy respect for the vertical game here. So I would expect, because of their familiarity with Gabe Davis and the explosive player he was in Buffalo, and certainly a first-round pick coming in Brian Thomas, I would expect Miami is going to – it's almost like a poor man's Dolphins, what the Jaguars have. I mean, it's not Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Right.
But you do have to worry about their deep speed. And so, Miami's perspective, I'm sure, is going to be we're willing to make them throw short and intermediate and go down the field on us. And if they can do that, then we'll tip our hat. But we're not going to let Brian Thomas and Gabe Davis catch bombs on us. So, I absolutely think you're going to see that effect immediately, because if I had to guess, I would think this is a game where Christian Kirk has 8 catches for 112 yards and a touchdown, and Evan Ingram probably has 7 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown, and probably quiet for Thomas and Davis, simply because I don't think Miami is going to allow it to be hit. And I don't think Thomas or Davis are good enough that if an opponent says we're taking this away, the Jaguars can still go get it.
It'll be interesting to see. And number one, if you clear out a little bit, those underneath routes are open, which is where Ingram and Kirk thrive. But yeah, they're also the guys that have been here. Christian Kirk's got to be chomping at the bit, man. Yeah, and you talk to him a lot, and I know you know him. He's got to be chomping at the bit. I mean, it killed him missing those last 6 games. I mean, I know it did. He hated it, so it'll be fun to see. Let's take a break, get into college football. Greg McGarity's next. He's the executive director of the Gator Bowl. The Gator Bowl College Football Report is next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Hey, it's Matt Hays. So another Mike who lost 40 pounds with Awaken 180 was in the same position I was in, and you are most likely confused.
I spent so much money on personal trainers in the last 10 years. Didn't have a lot of discretionary income left. So I tried to listen to everybody else. What do you eat? Everyone said, eat healthy. Define eating healthy. Cut out sugar. Tell me what foods don't have sugar. So their process to me was an education. That was really the eye-opening thing to me is I had 10 choices of food in front of me every day. When I was on the run in sales, I was making 8 bad choices. I wasn't eating the 2 good ones. And I loved the 2 good ones. I just didn't know they were good. So I made bad choices every single day. And the program, Awaken 180, really changed my mind, opened my eyes up to, it was a true education on food, what to eat, what not to eat, and it's been fantastic.
Knowing what to eat and the ability to navigate nutritional labels, a proven, clear path for weight loss. Exactly what you will receive with Awaken 180. Leave confusion at the door and do what we did. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. Through the Everbank London Getaway, one lucky winner and a guest will receive round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and a pair of tickets to see the Jags play in London. To learn more and for official rules, visit everbank.com/London. No person necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of 50 United States and D.C. 18 or older. Entry period for the Everbank London Getaway Sweeps is from 8/5/24 to 9/5/24. To enter and for official rules, alternate method of entry, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/London. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A.
Bueller Air & Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a dust bunny breeder from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Steve Johnson. Welcome to the show, Steve.
It's great to be here, Alex.
Yeah, you don't have to answer it in the form of a question, Steve.
What is this game show?
See, that's another question.
Are you going to ask me about air conditioners?
Yeah, okay. How about we just send the Bueller guys over and you can annoy them with all your questions? Johnny?
That's right, Steve. Bueller Air & Plumbing can answer all your air conditioning questions, repair options, replacement models, and how to make your AC last longer while saving electricity, making sure you are cool.
Where is the parking lot?
You're killing me, Steve.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Imagine stepping out of your cozy cabin on a crisp fall morning, coffee in hand, a stunning view from your private porch greets you. You spend the day relaxing at the tiki bar or taking a dip in the year-round pool while catching the big game on TV. Welcome to Island Oaks RV Resort, just past McClenny off exit 333. Book your cabin that sleeps 4 to 6 people. A close, affordable getaway with activities for the whole family. Make memories that last at Island Oaks RV Resort. IslandOaksRVResort.com.
Catching fish and fish stories.
What's going on here? Get him in the boat. Get him in the boat.
On the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show with Captain Kevin Faber. Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Veterans Wholesale Cabinets.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
We're back. Mia here, and winning season is back. Football is back, and MyBookie is here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions, like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. That's just the beginning, folks. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super Survivor and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for your shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus. When you're ready to get started, just use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit. You heard that right. Double your money with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Not to mention, loyalty pays off with MyBookie Plus. The more you play, the more you win. Climb through tiers of loyalty rewards programs to unlock even more epic promotions. Only with MyBookie.
It's storm season, and JEA is committed to keeping you informed. In the event of a storm, we'll text and email you about the status of your services. We use Facebook and X to post real-time updates. Our live outage map on JEA.com lets you track restoration progress. And as crews work to restore services, our storm outreach team will be in local neighborhoods to answer your questions. Because as your community utility, JEA is here to keep you safe and connected. Your community, your utility.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, so here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Urology has 4 convenient locations to help you put your prostate health first. Guys, don't put this one off. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
This is Dr. Turner Vossler, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Brian Thomas Jr. hype train has been rolling and gaining momentum. After a promising preseason, Brian Thomas Jr. is all set to take the field in his NFL debut this Sunday. Here's offensive coordinator Press Taylor on Thomas's outlook versus the Dolphins.
You've seen that confidence grow from him, and I think that's a big thing of just, I don't think he was ever not confident in himself, but you just see confident in his ability to play, understanding the offense, how they're using me, what they want me to do, that type of stuff. It's just been fun to watch, and I think it's just going to continue to grow with him.
The rookie wideout will have his work cut out for him against a talented Dolphins secondary. Clearly, his offensive coordinator Press Taylor has faith in his abilities to be a game changer when he lines up come Sunday. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
The College Football Report is presented each week by the Gator Bowl with Executive Director Greg McGarity. Here's Greg with the Frangie Show crew.
All right, let's say hello to my pal, Greg McGarity. We had him on the phone the other day, first time he's been in studio. How are you, brother? Good to see you.
Doing wonderful. Wonderful.
Great.
All is well.
Yeah, we've learned, I've talked to some sources I have at the Gator Bowl. I wanted to see if you can confirm this or not. Now that it's obvious Florida and Florida State are out, is there any conversation, is there any truth in the room that you've been talking about Cal and Missouri? And there's no truth to that, I would.
Definitely not Cal. I don't know if Missouri, who knows, they may be in the college football playoff this year. Definitely not Cal.
I tried to go as far away as I could from the...
Or Stanford, either one. We're okay.
How surprised are you the way the Noles and seriously, how the tough start for the Gators and the Noles?
Well, I thought Florida State, I think they might have underestimated BC, and they didn't have any idea what they were going to do. It doesn't excuse the lack of, I guess, spirit and the lack of aggressiveness and that passion that you see. Too.
Boy, does it ever.
So I think the lines of scrimmage in both schools was probably the most surprising thing, because both teams in visiting environments came in and just took over the game at the line of scrimmage, both sides.
Do you see for let's keep it to Florida State, because they've at least played twice. Mm-hmm. Do you see things that can be fixed? I mean, in terms of blocking, tackling, and the quarterback play?
I don't know. The fundamental piece is what's worrisome. Can guys get more motivated to play? That's the big question they've got to ask, because I think fans respond to kids that are excited. They're excited to play. They show that enthusiasm. I think what turns fans off is when you don't see that level of hustle that you didn't really see. I mean, nobody's, picking each other up. It's just, everybody kind of had their they were just so despondent on both sides. But I think people would take it better if they saw them leaving everything they had on the field. And I think in both situations, you didn't get that feeling as a fan.
All right, I do this a lot. I'm going to ask you to put your old athletic director's hat on. You went through some hard ones. I mean, you had to fire Mark Richt, who's one of the most wonderful people ever. You were there when they fired Zook at Florida. Were you there when Muschamp or
no?
No, you were okay, but you were certainly the Zook one and the Mark Richt one. You lived both of those. Mark, you had to make the decision. Zook, you were on the team that made the decision, and they're two good people and two guys that worked hard. And Greg, what is it like as an AD when you've got to do that? I mean, you're hearing from your boosters, you don't want to do it, it's time. Take me through that mindset and process.
Well, Mark's the only one where really I was in the chair. In
right.
that experience. But Mark really ran things in an incredible manner. The kids really enjoyed playing for him. So it wasn't an effort issue, or it wasn't things that were not being successful. So it's a little bit different. So we were in a situation where we waited till the end of the year to make that decision. With Ron, having sat, and I remember talking with Jeremy in the end zone after the game at Mississippi State, after Maine had beat Mississippi State the week before, was that, he just felt like a decision had to be made then, and there's no sense in delaying that. So, but what that did, it created, obviously the players were very disappointed because they love Ron Zook. Ron's a great guy. Yeah. But it sent coaches into a tailspin too, because all of a sudden, what do they do now?
Yeah.
They're worried about their job, and not only the assistant coaches, but you've got strength and conditioning, all these analysts. You've got so many people. When you make a decision halfway through the season, first of all, you better have somebody that can step in and right the ship. I don't mean as far as total program, because you're entering into an interim situation. So who on the staff would be kind of the person?
Do you think through that? You do, right?
Absolutely.
When you
yes,
moved
sir.
on from Mark Richt, you thought you had you have to map out two plans. One, the successor, but before that, you have to map out that interim plan, right?
No question. I mean, at Georgia, we were hoping Mark would coach the bowl game, but Miami came along and didn't. So Brian McClendon was the person to come in and lead us in the bowl game and everything. But even with that, you had the offense hoping that you would keep the offensive coordinator there, and the defense wanted Jeremy Pruitt. So you even had angst at that level because at that point in time, everybody had their favorites. And so I just remember on the bowl trip, everybody was looking towards their next job. It was not a great environment.
The assistant coaches.
Absolutely, because they didn't know who was coming in. And so I think there was a lot of a lot of times there where it just was not healthy.
So one follow-up, excuse me, Hays, but one follow-up. So there's scuttlebutt out there that Billy Napier's already on the hot seat. Who knows if it's true or not? Mm-hmm. There's always social media and what's going on. But there's scuttlebutt that it's already, I won't say in motion, but certainly people are talking about it. Mm-hmm. As an athletic director, if that, and I don't know, I don't want to misrepresent this. It may be just a bunch of bunk and he may coach the whole season. They may win 7-8 games and he never gets fired. But if it is in play, the athletic director now, what is Scott Strickland going through? Interim plan? Is he talking to his other assistants? Is it this may be too early, but if it happens midseason, whatever, you start looking at the next coach? Well, take me through the process. What you would do?
Well, you're kind of looking at that regardless of what happens as far as who's next.
Okay.
Because you never know, like Steve Spurrier, when he came in, he said he's gone. It was on his decision to leave.
Right.
And we might not have been as prepared as we needed to be at that point in time who's the next person. So
that's the 01 when you were at Florida,
you better have an idea of where you'd like to go and exactly who is that. Who is that?
Yeah.
Very difficult to do. But the most important person in that whole thing is the president. The president is the most important thing
of
all that Scott or any athletic director has to convince or not, because the presidents don't keep up with it. They got so many things going on. So they're gonna listen to the athletic director, his recommendation, and the president can say, no, we're not doing that, or it's okay. So that has to be that union there. And with Ken Fox back in the saddle,
correct.
That may help Scott as far as his understanding instead of dealing with a president that nobody really knew beforehand. Good point. I think a lot of that just depends on the president, because with all these hires, the president has either accepts the recommendation by the athletic director or says, no, we're not doing that, go in another direction.
How tricky as an athletic director is the Jimmy Sexton factor if you're firing one of his guys, but you want to go after one of his guys because he represents basically every prominent Southern coach, it seems like. How does the Jimmy Sexton, how do you work through that of having a tough negotiation on a buyout, but then having to then go court one of his guys?
Well, Jimmy is so well versed in everything. I promise you, he's thinking of all these different scenarios, and he probably would be able to tell an athletic director, here's who's available, here's who's not.
Yeah.
So I think that since Jimmy represents so many, if they don't have Jimmy as an agent or a representative, that might create a problem there. But Jimmy knows so much about everything in college football, just brilliant in that area. I'm sure an athletic director could lean on him because he's probably had to deal with all these coaches. The coaches that are currently coaching top 25 teams. He probably knows everything of even those that may not be under his umbrella.
Interesting stuff. All right, let's talk about it. Let's get it back to some things that don't involve coaches getting fired. Ooh, Georgia looked good. I mean, I said they beat Clemson 34-3, as everybody knows. I thought that game was way more about Georgia than Clemson. It was way more about how good Georgia was, not that Clemson all of a sudden isn't very good. Do you see it that way?
Yeah, I just think Georgia's, again, it's all at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, and then the adjustments that Georgia made in the second half offensively, I think Mike Bobo just called an incredible game in the second half. There's so many games in the first half, things are being figured out. It's like a chess match, and especially in game one. But I thought they dominated both sides of the line of scrimmage in that game. And then they've got talented players. If you can keep the pocket clean with Carson Beck, he's going to hurt you. But it just shows you that if you don't have exceptional quarterback play, you're going to struggle.
Are there some games this weekend that you've got your eye on?
I think the one that everybody will be looking at is Tennessee and NC State in Charlotte. Two top-ranked teams. It's kind of a test for Tennessee in there. I think they're really good this year. Arkansas is at Oklahoma State. Of course, everybody's looking at Texas at Michigan. And really a game that doesn't matter to us. It'll be a fun game to watch is South Carolina at Kentucky. But that and then Mississippi State, if you stay up at night, they're at Arizona State. So it's another big weekend for the conference, for the SEC and the ACC as well. Cal goes to Auburn. So there you go with your California.
There you
okay?
go.
You can scout them, okay?
That was my Gator Bowl game, Cal Auburn. Now that I know they play in the regular season, we can't do that. For when we were on with you before, when you were on with us before by phone, for people that missed that, I want to ask you this question again because not everybody hears every show. I wondered how the new setup would affect the bowls and affect the Gator Bowl. Now there's 12 playoff teams. You think, from what you told us a week ago, you think it'll be greatly beneficial to bowls like the Gator Bowl?
Well, I think, again, 12 teams are out of play for us last year with the New Year's Day 6. You got 12 teams that are out this year, so it really doesn't affect our pool.
I see.
This year.
It's the same for you.
Exactly. And if you go to 14 teams, that takes 2 teams out of our pool. If you go to 16, it takes 4 teams out.
Yeah.
Some that would more than likely be SEC or ACC teams. So the higher number you get in the playoffs could affect the ability for your picks. But I would say in the Southeastern Conference, you're going to get a great pick regardless. I mean, with the addition of Oklahoma and Texas, it's either going to push some SEC traditional teams up or down. So our pool is going to get stronger with Texas and Oklahoma in play.
I can tell you, too, Hays, I called both games on national radio, so I saw it firsthand. I can tell you, if where we're headed with the Gator Bowl is Notre Dame, South Carolina, Clemson, Kentucky, those are damn good Gator Bowls. And I'm not saying it because you're sitting here. Right. I really believe that, Greg. I think those. There's been some years you had bad Gator Bowls. Yeah. I mean, there just have.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of it predates you, and it wasn't Rick Catlett's fault.
Sure.
It's just where the world was at that time.
Right.
But I think if South Carolina, Notre Dame, and Clemson, Kentucky is where we're headed, those are good games.
And I think they tell others of their experience here.
Yeah.
And as I've said, I've been to every bowl practically during my career. Nobody has better hotel accommodations than we do at the beach. I mean, seriously. You can't get better than Omni at Amelia Island and Marriott Sawgrass. So they're here. They're really working towards next year. This year, since they're not in the playoffs, so their experience here is a lot different than if you were playing in the playoff championship. They're here to have fun. You're going to see some seniors that play their last game, and to some people that means a lot.
Because those are good games.
I mean, looking at it this year, I mean, obviously we're really early into this, but like LSU versus Georgia Tech. I mean, with that,
fantastic game.
There's not a matchup. I think we track 10 different prognosticators. I'd take any one of the 10 right now, sign it, and let's go play.
Isn't that great?
Absolutely.
Isn't that great? All right, very good. What's going on? Do you send people to games yet, or is it too early?
Yeah, we had 2 scouts go to A&M last weekend.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Had the time of their life out there because they attended the Friday night
the Yale practice.
pep rally.
Yeah.
And, they've got a new regime there with a new head football coach, Trev Alberts, the AD. They treated our staff so nice. So they're back in play now that they've got some people that have switched out of their seats.
Right.
So, but no, Texas A&M, they were just blown away by the way they were treated and the whole environment, even though Notre Dame played one heck of a game.
Where are you going this week? Kentucky, South Carolina, I'm guessing.
Kentucky, we've got very few. We've got a couple going up to Georgia. Georgia, FSU, Miami. Those are popular games for our group because they can all drive to those.
Yeah, and I want to say this. I don't want to depress you because you're my good friend. I don't think you're getting Georgia, Greg.
No.
That's not. Again, I make bold predictions. I live life on the edge, but I hear you there. By the way, Athens, Georgia. If you haven't been, you ever been?
Actually, haven't.
If you haven't been to a game in Athens, if you haven't been to Athens, it's one of my Gator friends are going to be mad at me for saying this. It's one of the best experiences in America. From the music to particularly when you get into the fall, the weather in North Georgia, the stadium. I mean, it is. If I was one of your reps, I'd say send me. I know we're not getting them.
No.
But send me up there, please, boss. That's what I would say.
They all talk to each other and they know where to go. So I think we're scouting every Georgia game this year.
I have no doubt. Greg McGarity is the Gator Bowl College Football Farm. Greg, thanks, buddy.
My pleasure.
When we come back, Hays has headlines. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hays, and summer's winding down. Soon those long, lazy days will be behind us, but they've done a number on our AC system. Do what I did and call the good folks at Fenwick Home Services to stay cool and comfortable through the season and for years to come. Need a new AC? Fenwick has free same-day estimates and next-day installations on energy-efficient systems. And your new system is backed by a warranty of up to 12 years. That's right, 12 years. And their expert technicians will get the job done and get it done right the first time. Book online now at FenwickHomeservices.com.
Roof damage? Call before you claim. Green Law Group, fighting insurance companies for you. They will work for you when you have roof damage. Don't let your insurance deny you. Don't call an adjuster. Call Green Law Group at 904-302-7055. Remember, if you have roof damage, call Green Law Group before you claim. They've settled millions and will work hard to get your claim and new roof. Green Law Group. Call before you claim. 904-302-7055.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Jags fans, our holiday pack is back with a special edition.
Trevor Lawrence, touchdown!
For the first time, get a limited edition Trevor Lawrence bobblehead plus a ticket to one of our December home games starting at $78. Wow! Whether you're looking for the perfect Christmas gift or want the one-of-a-kind bobblehead for yourself, grab a holiday pack today by going to Jaguars.com/bobblehead or call 904-633-2000 now.
We could call them helmets and cleats, but they don't wear cleats.
Those shoes are hot.
Mia O'Brien, Lauren Brooks, and Taylor Dahl.
From the First Coast Lighting Studios at 1010XL.
Weekdays noon to 2.
You think you could join us?
What king in the deck of cards does not have a mustache? The answer next.
Filing any homeowner's claim is really easy with Southern Oak Insurance. Simply file your claim directly with us. We'll handle the vendors. It will save money for you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Silly as it sounds, the King of Hearts is the only king without facial hair. Supposedly a design error.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protects.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, and equal opportunity employer.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists returns with their free bumps and bruises evaluation clinics. Now with 4 locations, these free injury assessments are open to all schools and athletic programs. Saturday mornings from 9 to 10 through October 26th at Cortex Sports Performance in Ponte Vedra, Preferred PT in Fleming Island, and also at Brooks Rehab on Centurion Parkway and Brooks Rehab at World Golf Village.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
I'm Taylor Rose with our Remedy Staffing Westside office off of Normandy Boulevard. We are helping great people find great jobs. Remedy has helped some of the best employers in Jacksonville find talented job seekers like you for over 25 years. Our current job openings range from entry-level distribution center pickers to equipment operators. Apply today at remedygoodjobs.com. Don't wait. Apply at remedygoodjobs.com now.
Prosser here. Hey, pick a news source. But the reports are home prices are expected to decline in 2025, even after the election. So you need to maximize your home sales price now before this downturn, and you can do it with the agents proven to sell for top dollar, Chad and Sandy Newman. Hey, perhaps you're worried about selling for less money with a lowball out-of-state instant offer, or maybe you want maximum equity from your home, but you're not sure how. That's why you turn to Chad and Sandy, who have the answers. No required costly repairs. Chad and Sandy are the local real estate experts I trust and recommend for the sale of your home. Tony and Maggie at Jack's Golf and Country Club said, "We recently had a job transfer and we needed to sell fast. With homes in our area struggling to sell inside 100 days, we didn't know what to do. Our worries were solved when we hired Chad and Sandy. Our home sold in 3 days for one of the highest prices ever in our neighborhood at over $1 million. Call the local experts we trust, 904-414-6200 or chadandsandy.com.
Looking to elevate your game night experience? Look no further than Best Bet. We're not just a card room, we're your destination for excitement, fun, and big wins. Whether you're a seasoned player or new to the game, we have something for everyone. Join us at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, or St. Augustine for thrilling tournaments, exciting promotions, and a vibrant atmosphere that will take your game night to the next level. Elevate your game night at Best Bet. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Advanced Business Solutions. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp were outslugged in Game 2 of their series against Louisville 10-2 last night. Louisville got off to a fast start in the second inning, taking a 6-0 lead. We'll get back at it tonight for Game 3 tonight at 6:35. On a bye week, the FSU Seminoles have a lot to consider from their rough performances at the start of the season, with concerns about FSU quarterback DJ Uiagalelei. Head coach Mike Norvell addressed the media on whether he'll consider a quarterback change.
Obviously, we were struggling offensively, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Obviously, everything that we're doing, we got to push and get better, and that's what we're gonna focus on doing. We're gonna focus on pushing to get better, and we're gonna put our guys in the best position to go achieve success, and that's what we're gonna focus on.
It's 85 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here. We've got JJ LaSelva. I am Hays Carlyon. Thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, let's get right to it. Jaguars, Dolphins. Give us a key. This will be the last time, I guess, we really kind of break this game down, today's show. So give us the biggest key for you, Jaguars versus Dolphins.
Tua Tagovailoa cannot get comfortable. That's more important than anything Trevor does, Christian Kirk does, Travis Etienne does, BT Jr. does. It's more important, in my opinion, than anything the secondary does, because that'll be based on what happens with the first thing I said. If Tua can sit in that pocket, the Jags are in for a long day. If they can move him off his spot, he's not a tall guy. The Jags have a really tall defensive front. Knock some balls down. Move him around a little bit. Get a little happy feet going. He's not a big-armed guy. So he's not a guy, he's not Mahomes that you can knock him sideways and he can throw a laser off balance. Tua's not that guy. Tua is a good quarterback, Hayes, but he needs a clean pocket. He needs to step into his throws. He's not going to throw a lot of passes off his back foot. I think the key, without question to me, is affecting Tua and getting him off his spot. If he sits there comfortably, it's a long day for Jacksonville.
The NFL season starts tonight. Ravens at the Chiefs. Who you got?
Boy, I tell you, it's not an automatic. I think the Chiefs are going to win. They're at home. There's the emotion of it all. They've become the celebrity status of Kelsey and Mahomes, I think, has fueled them. That place will be going bonkers. I think it's the loudest. I've been to all of them now, just about. I haven't been to Green Bay, but I've been to just about all of them. I think it's the loudest stadium in the league. And so I think the Chiefs by a little bit, but I love the Ravens. I love how they play. They're fearless. Lamar Jackson's fearless. Oh, I think we got a good one to kick it off. I really do.
JJ, who are you picking tonight?
Chiefs, but I mean they've lost these opening games before and still won a Super Bowl, so I don't feel confident about it, but I'm rolling with the Chiefs.
I'm going to take the Ravens, so there we go. Jalen Ramsey may not play Sunday for the Miami Dolphins. He is dealing with a hamstring. The all-pro corner is dicey because, Frank, you look at it, they play the Bills on Thursday night, so 2 games in 5 days. Defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver was very upfront about that today when he met with Dolphins media, that Jalen Ramsey's a great player and we hope we have him, but 2 games in 5 days is a difficult task.
Yeah, you made that point, and I missed the memo on that. I didn't even think about it till you said it, so shame on me, but they don't just play on Thursday. They play the Buffalo Bills. Again, I'm always picking on the Cardinals. This isn't the Cardinals you're playing. You're playing the Buffalo Bills. And, no, that is a game of significance, a significant game. Yeah, I said all along I thought Jalen would find a way to play because it's the Jags and it's the opener and whatnot. I might be leaning toward he doesn't play now.
Russell Wilson limited with a calf injury that popped up today in practice. So, boy, the Pittsburgh Steelers with that shaky quarterback situation. Yeah. We'll see what Russell Wilson's situation looks like over the next 48 hours, but maybe a chance that Justin Fields starts the opener.
Here's what's interesting about that. Mike Tomlin really wants to play Russell Wilson. It's been clear no matter what happened in the preseason, no matter how much he said it was a competition, that Russell Wilson had the pole position, but that they were all in play. He wants to play Russ Wilson. So the fans would rather see Justin Fields, which is why this injury makes everything so interesting. I'll say this. Russell Wilson doesn't need the legs the way he once did. So I think with a little bit of a leg injury, he could still go. The problem is calf injuries can linger. So you don't know how long this is. But my guess is Russ Wilson still starts against the Falcons.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I hate to do it because it's boring, but they've won the last two. Okay, I think they're with a quarterback who's still in his 20s. Okay, their star players are still young. I can't. How do you not pick the Chiefs? Now, the better question is who do they beat? Do they beat San Francisco again? Do the Eagles come back? Is it the Cowboys? Is it the Packers who Pete Prisco likes so much? You could go around the league. I'll have some fun with that one. But I think the Chiefs, so since you didn't ask me, I'll tell you anyway. I think they beat the Detroit Lions.
Okay. JJ, you got a Super Bowl pick?
Chiefs over the Lions.
Chiefs over Lions? Okay.
I'll say Chiefs-Niners.
Okay.
Chiefs-Niners.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say the Niners beat the Ravens.
Okay.
So there you go.
And by the way,
lock it in.
We pretty much just covered the 3 or 4 teams that could get there. Okay, that doesn't mean someone couldn't surprise.
Right.
But we pretty much covered the 3 or 4 teams that people think will get there.
Yes. Let's get it to college football. Billy Napier makes it official. Freshman quarterback DJ Lagway will start for the Gators against Samford Saturday.
I was thinking about this earlier. We'll talk later in the program about it. It's a shame that Florida lost and looked so bad in losing, and that all the talk now is how long does Billy last? Does he get it during the season? Does he get it earlier than people think? He made a comment, got fans mad. He had to apologize. How ignominious that beginning was. His overshadowed the fact that this would be a cool day. You've waited for this 5-star forever. Now he's going to go play, but no one's even talking about it. All anyone's talking about now is Billy getting fired and when, rather than, hey man, we get to go watch DJ Lagway play. Now, having said that, there's going to be some up and down. He's a freshman quarterback, but you know what I mean? That's lost in the shuffle here.
It is lost in the shuffle, and I think just the nature of the sport. Like, as a fan, it's like, well, he might play this season at Florida, but once Napier and his staff are wiped out, is DJ Lagway even going to hang around? So this might be the only year he plays for the Gators. I mean, who knows? So I think kind of the climate in the sport too kind of mutes the enthusiasm for a situation like this. But we'll see how Lagway fares and what brings what kind of career he ends up having. Let's get to Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani, the Dodgers superstar, becomes the fastest to reach 40-40, just the 6th guy to ever do it. But Frank, now he's looking at possibly becoming the first to ever go 50-50. The 30-year-old Ohtani has 44 home runs this season and 46 stolen bases, and the Dodgers still have 22 games left. Shohei Ohtani probably could play well for the Jaguars in whatever role you want, but how about that 50-50? He's got a good chance at.
Think about this. He could go 50. He's probably going to. He's
on pace to do both.
He's probably going to be the first 50-50 guy, and next year he could win 20 games.
It's incredible.
Just digest that for a second. He could hit 50 home runs, steal 50 bases, and it's possible if the Tommy John takes, it'll be a second one, that he could be, you could look up and he's 19-6 with a 1.89 after going 50. Think about that stat.
It's remarkable.
In any sport, there's never been anything like that.
No.
Never.
No, it is truly incredible. I've got one more baseball note for you. San Francisco Giants signed third baseman Matt Chapman to a 6-year, $151 million deal. The 31-year-old defensive whiz has 22 home runs this season.
Good player. A good, solid, played for the A's all those years, now the Giants. Good, solid third baseman, he's a good player. You love to see these 31-year-old guys get paid. Which means you're not done in the early 30s. It's a cool thing.
Absolutely. We'll get it to media. NFL Network is promoting Stacey Dales to senior national reporter. I got to say, she is incredible. Watching her at the Combine work the room and go to every podium and have a notepad and questions specifically for each guy. And then obviously later in the day when they're in Lucas Oil doing the drill, she has her reports. Getting a chance to see her work she does such an impressive, spectacular job.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Stacey Dales. Very well earned.
Totally agree on all fronts. She's really good. And I'm not sure she's not hosting Good Morning America or Good Morning Football.
No, I think it's just to be like one of their top.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure you'll see her everywhere at all the big events and with a higher platform.
Yeah, she's not hosting Good Morning Football.
Right.
But I think she's a star and good for her.
Yeah, absolutely. We will get you out on our musical note as we get ready for Josh Pate in our next segment. Today we honor Queen legendary frontman Freddie Mercury, who was born on this day back in 1946. He would have turned 78 years old today. Mercury died in 1991 at the age of 45 from complications from the AIDS virus. This is crazy little thing called Love. Kind of an under-the-radar Queen song, but I figured why not? I like it.
What a mega star. What a mega band they were. And I think they're a band whose greatness grows every year in their absence. You know that? I mean, they're one band that just kept going up and up and up even when we couldn't hear them was Freddie Mercury anymore. Great choice and great song. I agree with that. All right. I now hear that Josh Pate is coming on. Okay. Just JJ, he is coming on now, right? Are we good?
Correct.
Josh Pate from CBS Sports is next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Hays Carlyon here. If you're like me in the fall, you want to watch football, not clean. Enter Molly Maid, voted Bold City Best Cleaning Service 3 years in a row. Molly Maid is reliable, friendly, and thorough. Visit mollymaid.com.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. With the college season underway, 2024 Press Pass Premium Football has hobby boxes with the hot prospects. Hunt for low-numbered autographs of Georgia quarterback Carson Beck. Open 7 days a week. It's Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
Thermal Engineers is hiring. Thermal Engineers is a commercial HVAC contractor serving North Florida for over 20 years. Qualified technicians and installers. How does top pay, 401k, and full benefits sound? And a signing bonus. Is it time for a positive change in your career? Join the family-oriented commercial HVAC contractor at Thermal Engineers. Call 230-1172 or go to Thermal Engineers, Inc., an equal opportunity employer.
We're back. Mia here, and winning season is back. Football is back, and MyBookie is here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions, like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. That's just the beginning, folks. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super Survivor and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for your shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus. When you're ready to get started, just use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit. You heard that right. Double your money with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Not to mention, loyalty pays off with MyBookie Plus. The more you play, the more you win. Climb through tiers of loyalty rewards programs to unlock even more epic promotions. Only with MyBookie.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web. Precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Hello, Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hi, everybody. Mike Dempsey here. Look, most goals we set for ourselves have a pretty clear course. I want a trip to Las Vegas. So you read a couple of reviews, talk to a few friends, save up some money, and you book it. Maybe a couple of choices along the way, but overall, it's a clear course to reach your goal. Now, if your goal is to lose 40 or 50 pounds, where's the clear path? You read reviews, talk with a few friends, and try something out. When it doesn't work, you're disappointed. Look, we've all been there, and it stinks. Know what I say? Stop trying to do what I did and start doing. Reach your goal with Awaken 180. It's a clear course to success without the disappointment. No guesswork, no trial and error, and no medication side effects. I'm proof. I dropped 26 pounds my first go at it, and it was simple. A word never associated with weight loss except when referring to Awaken 180. Choose the simple, clear course to success with the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time now for the College Football Insider, brought to you by the law firm of Woolsey Morecambe on The Frangie Show.
All right, welcome back to the program. Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon with you, and what a pleasure to welcome in our pal Josh Pate. Nobody knows college football better. You know him as Late Kick. Josh joined us on the program. We'll tell you all about some of his new stuff going on with CBS, HQ, and other places. Josh, thanks for joining us, man. How are you?
I'm okay, but I imagine if I were to get closer to the epicenter down there, things don't sound like they're going so good.
Oh, my goodness.
It's brutal.
My goodness. I mean, yeah, there's only 2 teams within a couple hours of here. They're not doing well.
We were going to take 3 month sabbaticals.
We needed to. Let's start in Gainesville. And you know this stuff, and you know the people in it. Man, how shocked are you that they were that bad? Miami's good, and maybe Miami was going to beat them. They were a 2-point favorite. Josh, how surprised were you that the Gators were that bad Saturday?
You know, that's very, very well phrased, the way the question was, because it's not losing the game. I mean, when you've got 2, at least perceptionally, 2 improving programs, they play each other. Someone's got to lose. It doesn't automatically mean that everything you believed was false. And so I think most of us, myself included, I picked Miami to win the game. But when I picked Miami to win the game, I'm thinking there's a lot of positive to be taken from it in the aftermath. If you're Florida, I'm thinking tight game, 1 possession, 10 points, either way if there's a late score. And that would have been acceptable, if not palatable. However, the way it plays out, there's this threshold. You guys know this. You've watched this stuff longer than I have. There's this threshold that a result gives you, especially early in the season when you're questioning your coach already. And past that threshold, if the result's on the other side of it, it's like it almost feels like point of no return type stuff. And also, you start to ask, well, what was I fed all spring and summer? Because sometimes the media hypes you up and the program's been quiet. But in this case, folks around Florida were very excited, and they were, not shy about touting how improved they felt like they were, the changes they've made, the investment. I sat down with Billy in the spring, and he said, this feels like the year where it's fair to judge us. Well, all right. Now, we're 1 game in, so maybe they rattle off 5 or 6 in a row, but to say the least, they're on the clock now. There are no more excuses.
No doubt about it. And obviously the Gators can say it was just 1 game. Florida State cannot say that. They've played poorly now twice. Josh, what are their biggest issues, and are they fixable?
Short term, no. I think that's a dead team. Long term, yeah, they're fixable. I just think we're in an era now. We are not 15 or 20 years into the transfer portal NIL era. So it was always going to be bumpy. We just didn't know who it was going to be for. And so you want to talk about bumpy, you want to talk about experiencing all levels of the portal spectrum. Mike Norvell has felt it. Norvell comes in and leans on the portal, as he should have, to jumpstart his program. They never did the shift, though, over towards majority high school recruiting. They are not a high-level high school recruiting outfit right now. They have to be that. And I think last year probably created a lot of false sense of security and confidence that, hey, we could just portal every year. We can just do that every year. And it's so feast or famine. And I know that's the talking point down there. I know I'm not revealing anything that a lot of other Florida State fans aren't already talking about. But how do you fix it? Well, you don't fix it overnight. They still got to go through 10 more games this season. And it may just be that this year's a failed experiment and you didn't have to wait until November to find out. Well, in the interim, okay, 2024 is going to be what it's going to be. How much change can I see in that 2025 recruiting cycle between now and signing day? Because a lot of it's already baked in. So is there a lurch? Is there a hard shift in that sort of sector? Because that's how you fix it. I know in year 5 no one wants to hear the word rebuild, but I don't really care what they want to hear. The way to fix it is they have to rebuild through high school recruiting, point blank, whether that sounds like it makes sense in year 5 or not.
Josh Pate with us, talking college football. Late kick, Josh, from CBS Sports HQ. All right, but let's wrap up Florida and FSU. We want to get to some other teams. Mike Norvell's got a long contract. He'll figure it out, or he won't, but it'll happen in time. Billy Napier does not. On the hot seat, there's already a buzz going on, Josh. Oh, my goodness, how long this guy got? Is it going to happen before October? What are you hearing? What are your thoughts? If they get that brutal schedule, as everybody knows, if they start 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, is he out quickly? Should he be? What's your read on that?
I can tell you, talking to some folks inside that part of the industry, the expectation is he's not long for that job.
Yeah.
I mean, I pull for the guy, so I hope they're wrong,
Right.
but I can only tell you what I hear. So I know there is a lot of due diligence that's been done, and frankly, there are some guys out there. There's some pretty decent names out there, actually, in the coaching world, some that would be on your radar, some totally out of left field, that have their eye on the Florida job and have for a while. There's a curiosity, which surprises me, amongst some people in the coaching market about whether the Florida job is on par with Georgia, Alabama, LSU, A&M, Texas, the perceived elite jobs in the conference. Now, when I hear that, I look sideways at folks because I think it is. But I'm not up for that job. And I also don't do the level of due diligence on this sort of thing that they make. So, yes, there's an expectation that ultimately you're trending in a direction that's irreversible. Whether that is remains to be seen or not. But then the follow-up is when you start putting together your list, there are a lot of guys who already have pretty good jobs where you'd have to do some work to convince them that the Florida job is a significant step up from where they already are.
Who are some of the off-the-radar guys that maybe not even for Florida, but you just maybe that fans aren't used to hearing that you think could be in line for some of these big jobs?
Well, this is the part that sucks because the trade-off for being fed the information is keep your mouth shut on the information.
Fair.
Yeah.
To which I almost get mad when that happens, and I say, well, don't even tell me because that's worse. Like can I at least call my mom and tell her?
I totally get it. And I think you made a great point earlier about how the loss happened because like LSU was disappointed in losing to USC, but there were a lot of positives there for LSU moving forward.
I think so. It's funny you mentioned some of those coaching names out there. The one at LSU would be one that would be totally off the radar that you wouldn't think would be in play, but would. You didn't hear that from me. But I watched LSU. And I watched USC, to me, was the story of that game. LSU underachieving was not necessarily a huge story to me. I mean, I do my own numbers. I didn't bump LSU down at all. I think maybe a quarter of a point in power rating totality. I flat out had to see USC be that defensively improved to believe it, and they were, at least through one-game sample size. And the other thing about that, if you guys think about this, I mean, those two defenses were terrible last year, obviously. And so they come into week 1. If I were to promise you were going to get pretty high-level quarterback play from Moss and from Garrett Nussmeier, and that game was going to stay under 50, you would have thought, well, they must have called the thing in the middle of the third quarter. Something must have happened. The roof must have leaked. There's no way. Those two defenses are playing a full 4 with good, efficient quarterback play on the other side. But they're both defensively that upgraded, which just goes to show you can never overhype coaching hires too much. Coaching hires mean everything. New coordinator hires, and both of them on that side of the ball, completely cleaned house. Kelly brought in the guys from Missouri. Lincoln brought in the guys from over at UCLA across town. they're largely playing with the same players they were terrible with last year. Coaching is such a huge deal in this sport.
Josh Pate with us. And by the way, Josh, since you didn't say it first, I will not say it second, but I would not be surprised if Brian Kelly's in play for another blue blood job. From what I'm hearing, it's funny you said that, but we'll see how that plays out, whether it's Florida or wherever. Don't be shocked with what Josh just didn't say. Don't be surprised by it. Georgia Clemson. I thought that was way more about Georgia than it was about Clemson. I think Georgia's really good. I don't know. Clemson's not the 10 or 11 win team we came to know, I don't think, Josh. But I just think Georgia's just so good. What do you think?
They are. I took it as a little bit of both. You know, I am not someone who has watched Clemson for a long time who's willing to just say, well, Georgia does that to a lot of teams. Georgia does do that to a lot of teams. Clemson is not supposed to be a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Clemson's supposed to be one of the 5 best in the country. And I know we've waned a little bit from that, but okay, they're still supposed to be one of the 7 to 10 best in the country. Well, apparently we've waned from that as well. And I don't really care in a watered-down ACC if they can go 10-2 in conference play. I really don't care, because that shouldn't be the standard over there. The standard should be we've got the athletes, maybe not to match you man for man, but, guys, they never recruited heads up with Alabama. They beat them twice in national title games because they recruited well enough. They loaded up that defensive line. They had star quarterback play, and now they kind of have one of those things. They definitely don't have the other thing, and I think the hidden second part to this is while everyone's talking about Dabo and not using the portal and how much that would have meant or wouldn't have meant against Georgia, their offense is pedestrian. It has been for a long time. The Garrett Riley hire, while it moved the needle headline-wise, was not viewed as a game changer behind the scenes in the industry. It just wasn't, which is mildly surprising to me, but that's the reality of it. And so they're still stagnant. They're still unimaginative over there, which I always thought was an overrated term in play calling, but I kind of see it bleed through with Clemson. So it's not a terrible program. It will never be a terrible program or even an average program under Dabo. But if they fall back to just being pretty good, which means on average 8 or 9 wins per year, how long do you float there before you decide, like Georgia did with Mark Richt, good enough is not enough, it's time for us to make a change?
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see. How about Texas at Michigan? What are some storylines you'll be focusing in on when you watch that?
Well, this is the one we're going to Saturday. I have about 19 different reasons to believe Texas will out-athlete them and will pull away from them. But I have like 6 or 7 ideas floating in the back of my head that gives me pause on that. One of them is I cannot get out of my mind the running back injuries that Texas had in camp and how Michigan prides itself in turning an offense one-dimensional. And if Texas is turned into a one-dimensional outfit, I have watched Michigan for 3 straight years, this defense for 3 straight years, go against an Ohio State team with racehorse after racehorse, first-round pick after first-round pick at receiver, and totally throw a crowbar in the bicycle spokes. So here we are again. And Quinn Ewers has got all kind of weaponry, and Will Johnson can only cover one of them at the time. I believe in all this. Everyone's saying this. I'm saying it too. I'm just saying I know how this game works as well, and I have seen someone blow someone out in week 1 and the other team struggle in week 1 and they meet in week 2, and you got progression and regression to the mean. Guys, I think the big mistake here, and they're just going to have to prove me wrong, the big mistake is folks think if this game is a fist fight, that automatically means edge Michigan. And I believe Texas has recruited and developed the kind of athlete that should be totally comfortable getting into a fight. Now, that's the only way Michigan can win. Texas can win a shootout, but Texas ought to feel comfortable winning a fist fight. Like, Texas has the kind of athlete that should relish rolling their sleeves up and getting into a fight with a team like Michigan. Are they that? That's the story we get to find out Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Final thing for you, Josh. That's the best game of the weekend. A sneaky good game, and maybe it's because I'm mired down here in the South, is this Tennessee-NC State game. Carter Finley can be sneaky loud at times. Tennessee's on the road. Tennessee looks like they've got another good offense.
This was the Charlotte game.
Oh, my bad. This is Charlotte, not Carter Finley. Thank you. But Tennessee is playing. They're both ranked teams. Tennessee can go really fast. Is that a good game, or does Tennessee roll them?
So My gut instinct is Tennessee by double digits, but I will say this. We're looking at Nico right now, and he's going to be a star, and he probably already is a star. Early in quarterback careers in college football, when we see a guy and he looks invincible, that's not always what opposing defensive coordinators see. And so what you get to find out is there a flaw in that kid's game that we can't see that they can? My suspicion is knowing NC State defensively, and that's a really, really underrated defensive coordinator and support staff. Knowing that profile of that team like I do, even though the talent is down a notch on that side of the ball, what they can do is just blitz him all night. And it may be that they get burned by that, and we tune in, and Tennessee's up 28-3. But you've got to find out how a young quarterback performs against pressure. And there is no team in the ACC on average that brings pressure more frequently than NC State. And so if it goes sideways, I think it goes sideways because the turnover margin goes sideways for Tennessee. If it's played straight up, Tennessee should roll them. Tennessee should be an SEC championship contender this year. If they've got that level quarterback play and their defense is as upgraded as they think it is, they should be a contender. But I'm telling you, NC State folks have had this thing circled. It is a Super Bowl for them. It's just another game for Tennessee. They think they're really upgraded at receiver at NC State, and so they think that the weakness of this Tennessee defense is secondary. So they think they match up good with them. I'll watch the game. I agree with you. It's sneaky good. But if it goes sideways for Tennessee, those would be a couple of reasons why. I don't think it will, but if it does, that's why it would happen.
It's going to be an awful lot of fun to watch. Josh Pate talking college football. Late Kick Josh on Twitter. You see him on CBS Sports HQ. And, Josh, before we let you go, you know how much we think of your work. We love having you on. Tell us about the YouTube show, Josh Pate College Football, a Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, I believe. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we changed the name because I wrapped up negotiation with CBS, and we took ownership of the channel and the podcast feed. And so I'm looking on the sheet of paper. It's funny. The legalese says Josh Pate's College Football Show. So I said, why don't we just call it this? So we just changed the name to Josh Pate's College Football Show. It's the easiest thing in the world to remember. Right. And we do it live, like you said, Sunday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night. We'll do one tonight at 8 Eastern. But if you're living your life and you want to tune in the next morning, it's right there on replay on the YouTube channel. It's in the podcast feed, wherever you get your podcast. So at your convenience, we appreciate folks watching or listening.
You do a great job. We'll be checking it out. Josh, thanks for spending some time, man. Take care, buddy.
I appreciate it, guys.
Okay, Josh Pate, and boy, does he talk. Boy, is he good at talking college football. I mean,
phenomenal.
He is really good. I mean, there's a lot of people good at talking college football. He might be at the top of the food chain. I really love Josh's work. We'll take a break. We're going to wrap the program after this. We only go to 4 o'clock. Then it's Jaguars Happy Hour and the Doug Peterson Show. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Joe C. for Roland Reich Plumbing. When I needed a plumber, I said, Roland, I got a problem, man. This water heater just absolutely caved in on me. He goes, don't worry, I got it. Send me a picture of it. So the next thing you know, I'm giving them a picture. I'm showing what size tank I'd like, where it's at. He goes, no problem. We don't have to move anything around. We can be there in no time. We're talking the next day. Now, here's what they can do for you. 24/7 emergency service is available, and their 25-plus years worth of experience as a business in this community, and they will definitely take care of you. So log on, plumbingjacksonville.com, and remember, it's simple. When you have a leak and can't wait a week, make sure you get in touch with Roland Reich Plumbing.
You know, the practice of law is like any other business. Only the strongest survive. If you've been hurt, the law allows one shot. Make it count. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family. Call us at 396-5555, Jacksonville.
It's storm season, and JEA is committed to keeping you informed. In the event of a storm, we'll text and email you about the status of your services. We use Facebook and X to post real-time updates. Our live outage map on JEA.com lets you track restoration progress. And as crews work to restore services, our storm outreach team will be in local neighborhoods to answer your questions. Because as your community utility, JEA is here to keep you safe and connected. Your community, your utility.
Former Jaguars corner and first-year head football coach at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows, K-12, Aaron Beasley here. Are you looking for an A-rated K-12 school prioritizing academics, arts, and athletics? Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows offers a rigorous curriculum to develop strong minds with an additional focus on growing good hearts. DCSB has been an A school for 8 years, and our tuition is free. Now enrolling. Apply at baymeadowscharter.org.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988. So call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
A different path means a new hope for Miami football this season.
Find out what you need to know about the Canes on the Performance Painting Hurricane Report.
Keep an eye on the Canes as they strike back on 1010XL. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Big Chief Tire makes auto care affordable with 6-month financing on their CFNA card plus $50 off your next service. Frank Frangie here. With no interest for 6 months, now is the perfect time to take care of your vehicle. Whether you need new tires, brakes, or general checkup, their skilled technicians have you covered. Visit BigChiefTire.com or call 904-932-0950 to learn more and schedule an appointment at one of their 5 locations. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Get this thing unwrapped here.
Frost, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. Johns County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
When I say Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned has big selection, I mean it's huge. Mia here, not 100, not even 500, over 600 vehicles in one location. Arlington Pre-Owned even has 125 vehicles under $18K. Plus, you get 60 days to love it or exchange it. 60 days. And Arlington's Credit for Everyone program is here to help you get financed. Shop Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Are you feeling the heat? It's time to cool things down with Duck Duck Air Conditioning. Contact us today at 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckac.com. Duck Duck Air Conditioning to keep you cool and comfortable all year round.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about putting your worries in the right bucket. So often we put our worries in our own bucket, but many times they need to be in God's bucket. The Bible says, present your problems always to God. In other words, leave them in God's bucket. Understand that no matter what is out of your control, it's never out of the control of Almighty God.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
This is Dr. Turner Vossler, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Brian Thomas Jr. hype train has been rolling and gaining momentum. After a promising preseason, Brian Thomas Jr. is all set to take the field in his NFL debut this Sunday. Here's offensive coordinator Press Taylor on Thomas's outlook versus the Dolphins.
You've seen that confidence grow from him, and I think that's a big thing of just, I don't think he was ever not confident in himself, but you just see confident in his ability to play, understanding the offense, how they're using me, what they want me to do, that type of stuff. It's just been fun to watch, and I think it's just going to continue to grow with him.
The rookie wideout will have his work cut out for him against a talented Dolphins secondary. Clearly, his offensive coordinator Press Taylor has faith in his abilities to be a game changer when he lines up come Sunday. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Cleaning up with Hays is made spotless by Molly Maid.
Appreciate our friends at Molly Maid. Cool new feature. And I think what needs to be cleaned up is that Miami Dolphins backfield, and I expect Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker to do that. I think they're going to set the tone. You look at the Dolphins tackles, Taron Armstead at left, Austin Jackson at right tackle. I just don't think they're going to be able to hold up. Miami's going to hit on some plays because they're explosive and they're well coached. But I think the tone for Sunday's game is going to be set by Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker, and I think they are going to clean house in Miami on Sunday.
All right, it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's do a cool down, shall we?
Let's do it.
Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Been a good show today. You heard from Greg McGarity, the executive director of the Gator Bowl. I thought he was fantastic, taking us through what an AD goes through if he has to fire a coach. Greg had to fire Mark Richt, one of the most likable and successful coaches around. He did that. He went and hired Kirby Smart. I think that worked out okay. But he told us how the process goes, the relationship with the president, the relationship with the assistant coaches, the importance of the right interim guy. It was great having him on board. Mitch Morse also was a topic of a show interview. Hays caught him up in one of those Hays Carlyon one-on-ones. The brand-new Jaguars center has brought a veteran presence, a stability to that offensive line. Can't wait to watch him. He was great on the interview. And, of course, Josh Pate from Late Kick Josh. He has a Josh Pate college football show on YouTube every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. They do it live at 8 o'clock at night, but you can always see the replay of it coming the next day or anywhere on the YouTube channel. Boy, does he do a great job talking college football. We had great stuff on the program, and that's where we have gone today. About 10 minutes left in the show, 10 minutes left of my week. Now, again, let me tell you about tomorrow. Rick and Hays will have a terrific Jaguar preview show coming up tomorrow. They will host that for you, and I'm excited about that for them. I will not be on the show other than to start the show and to visit with my pal Doug Peterson. The coach is going to come on. Coach Speaks is going to be every Friday on our program at 4 o'clock. We are 4:05, I should say. He will join us at 4:05. That's when we will have the interview. He'll be here about 7 minutes or so, 6-7 minutes. Kind of like the first time he was on. We'll talk a little bit about Miami. I'll ask him, how do you feel about your team coming out of what looked like a great preseason, certainly a healthy football team? The healthy guys, the guys that are back, Eric Armstead, Christian Kirk, should be full go, should be a relatively healthy football team. I shouldn't say relatively, and we'll talk about that. The importance of the game after last year's difficult end of the season, and we'll get going. So Doug Peterson on the program tomorrow at 4:05, I should say, and then Hays and Rick Ballou will have our special Jaguar preview show. That comes up as soon as that interview is over. So we're looking forward to a fun Friday as we get set for, finally, at long last, a Jaguar football season. And I think those of us around here can't wait to watch it. One final thought about the Jaguar game, because the last time I'll be on to talk to you about it. I think the Jags are going to play very well in that game. It's going to be a barn burner. Someone said, who do you think's going to win? That's a coin flip game. You can pick the Jags, you can pick Miami. It's a coin flip game. We didn't do picks, did we? We may have to do that tomorrow. We may have to just send our picks in. I just realized I'm not here tomorrow for picks day. We'll have to send our picks in. So.
Well, we've got 9 minutes.
Well, I don't have 10 games yet. Okay, so but we'll
just go through them. Who do you like? Jags, Dolphins. We'll do Texas, Michigan. We'll do Tennessee, NC State.
What I'll do is I'll send a ballot out. I'll send a ballot around, so we'll do our picks. We were very good. We were all three very good last week.
Yeah, I mean, we can't do any worse. That's why we might as well just do it on the fly right now. It's not like
we had 8 games. I totally forgot. So we had 8 games last week. We were 2-6. And let me be clear about all 3 of us were 2-6. And let me be clear about this. That's not against the spread.
I don't know how I won 2.
That was 2. That we were 2-6 straight up. Okay,
it's brutal.
And we were 2-6 straight up. So we will.
Thanks a lot, Billy Napier.
I'll send around a ballot, and Hays and JJ and I'll pick. And then normally on Fridays we will do our picks in the 5 o'clock hour on the Friday show. So, but today, this week, we will just send them around and talk a little bit about it. But I back to the game. I think it's coming down to the fourth quarter. I kind of like the Jags. I think the Jags have a chance to win. Everyone's going to pick the Dolphins. What's the line?
Dolphins by like 3 to 3.5.
Yeah, but I think the Jags, whether they win or not, I think they play very well in this football game. I think it's coming down to the fourth quarter.
I think it's going to be one of the best games of week 1. I think it is going to be one of those games that at the 2-minute warning, somebody's got the ball and the game's going to be decided there. I like the Jags because I do think that Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker are just going to make one more big play than what the Dolphins defense is going to be able to provide against Trevor and company. So I think a lot of points. The over-under is 49. I definitely would go over. So I think you're looking at a game that is somewhere 30 to 27, somewhere in there. I think wildly entertaining game. And I think the Jaguars get it done.
Yeah, I can. JJ, who do you like?
I like the Dolphins. I think the Jags will cover, so maybe like 27-24 or something like that.
Yeah, it is going to be that kind of a game. It's got that kind of a game feel to it, doesn't it? I think it's going to be a very good game, but I do believe at the end of the day, I like where the Jags stand on this. So, but we're all off the hook since it's not an official pick week. So, our picks again return next week. How's DJ Lagway going to do?
I think he'll play well because, I mean, it looks like they are pretty overmatched, and he is such a gifted athlete. So I'll say a couple of turnovers, and it may take him a while to get going, but I would think you're looking at 350 yards of total offense and 4 or 5 touchdowns that he accounts for. So I would think overly, definitely a B-plus grade or higher for DJ Lagway.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. What I think, again, Gator fans need some fun. What Billy Napier doesn't need is 40,000 people in the house. That's now what you hope is there's only 7 home games. That means there's 358 days a year you don't have one. So you hope nobody says I'm not going because you only get to do it 7 times. And college football, well, all football home games are an event. They're a trip. You plan it all year long. You've got your hotel or your Airbnb or whatever planned. You've planned your buddies. You've got the RV. So you bought your tickets in advance. So I don't think all of a sudden no one's going. But that's the worst thing that could happen to Billy Napier. The thing that gets coaches fired, Matt Hays said this on our program, the thing that gets coaches fired really more than anything, more than losing, more than probation, is fans not caring. Angry fans are bad. Fans that don't care are worse, and that's when you lose. So hopefully it'll be something fun for the Gators. Hopefully they'll throw it all over the lot. Hopefully, I mean, I'm telling you, I told you before. If I'm forget about what fans want or media wants or media thinks. If I'm Billy Napier, if I'm him, and I know Billy sticks to his principles and he's an old school guy, and you don't get out of line. He's now playing. Lagway. Mertz is still in the protocol. Lagway's going to start the game. I would imagine if he stays healthy, finish the game. Hays, I would showcase him. I would showcase that son of a gun. I would have him. I may hand off a few times, but it would be throwing it and running it most of the time for me. I would have quarterback draws, RPOs where he keeps it, naked bootlegs. I would have him throwing it deep. I would showcase. I would have Gator fans thinking, wow, he's really good, and if we fire the coach, he's gone. And that's the mindset I would want Billy Napier. If I'm Billy Napier, that's the mindset I would like to share.
Without a doubt, and the other part of it, too, is he is your backup, and for now, he may be promoted to starter full-time, even when Mertz is cleared. But as of now, the standard operating procedure is he's the backup. Well, he's never played, so this is really your only opportunity where you're going into the game thinking, well, this is going to be a game where we potentially can build a 4-possession lead relatively early on and really have him get some time and get comfortable because you're not going to have that again. This is by far their easiest opponent remaining. So, yeah, I would think for Billy Napier, just to get, even if you're not viewing Lagway as your savior for the season and this is going to be the starter, even if you're thinking Graham Mertz is going to be back next week and I'm fully committed to him being the starter, you need to see what DJ Lagway can do. He needs to run everything so that he's got film that he can go back over. So I think incredibly important. I wouldn't give Montrell Johnson a carry in a game like this. You give a couple young backs the ball a few times, but I'm with you. I mean, I'd like to see DJ Lagway with 20 carries and 45 pass attempts.
Yeah, and I really do. I find myself wondering, is that how you play it? Because I think that is how you play it. And I'll say this. I'll be if nobody shows up. By the way, even though it's Samford, you are coaching for your job because lose this, he's fired. If you lose to, I fully believe if they lose to Samford,
well, that would only be his 7th straight loss, Frank.
I think if they lose to Samford, he's going to get fired. I think he'll get fired Sunday if he loses.
I mean, if he loses, honestly, they should fire him on the field.
Yeah,
and have him honestly, don't even go back to your office. We'll just leave the premises.
Yeah,
and we will mail you your stuff.
Well, and whereas that's not going to happen, although it's a great line, I really do think if they lose the game, that could be the last game he coaches.
There's no doubt. If he loses Saturday,
it could be the last.
He will not be the
last
coach.
game he coaches for any team ever.
Yeah. So, but that tells you where it is. Because, listen, Florida's lost to Georgia Southern. They've lost to Louisiana Lafayette, and they get fired that day. That's where the program is. I mean, FSU lost to Jacksonville State a few years ago, but the program wasn't to where this one is. Where this program has gotten to, Hays, is if he loses to Samford, I think he's fired. If he,
without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, if he loses Saturday, you have to now start considering, is he a mole working for another organization? I mean, 7 straight losses?
Is he a Florida State fan?
I mean, what are we doing here?
So it'll be interesting to see. All right, folks, that'll just about do it for our program. Once again, tomorrow, Rick Ballou and Hays will have our very special Jaguar season preview show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Cheerleaders and all kind of fun stuff coming up, so they'll be telling you all about that. I will start the program. I will have the program, and Doug Peterson will join me. Coach Speaks. So Doug will get you ready. I can't think of a better way to start a Jaguar special season preview show than to start with the coach who will join me on the air. So that's how we will kick this thing off. So we certainly look forward to that. And then Hays and Rick will have it for you the rest of the day. I'll be with you on Sunday morning.
Yes, for the kickoff show. Look forward to it.
I'll join you and me. I'll look forward to that as well. That's going to be an awful lot of fun as well. We're out here. Don't go anywhere, though. Jaguars Happy Hour, including the Doug Peterson Show. That is next. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.